Now, the main thing, I wasn't so much saying last week that he wasn't worthy of the award, but I thought the timing of the award was bizarre in the sense that he's sitting down 0-2 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What do we want athletes to do?
Mm-hmm.
We want them to step up and meet challenges. So he gets the award down 0-2 and then reels off 3 straight wins and a masterclass in Game 5. This is exactly what we want out of our athletes. He answered the bell.
Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves. Last week we kind of focused on the Dallas Mavericks series, and this week, with Denver taking 3 games in a row now, Minnesota goes up 2-0, and then Denver comes back and wins 3 in a row. And this last game, Nikola Jokic puts on a masterclass after a lot of people had some trepidation about him winning MVP. Now, in my opinion, I think none of it really matters because it's a regular season award. So, you have to take into account what was done in the regular season. But whatever. The MVP award is lame, is listed or whatever. And then he comes out, after Shaq is saying, somebody else deserved it and all of this good stuff. And he comes out and just destroys the Timberwolves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after, all of these MJ comparisons with Ant comes out. He has a stinker, if you will. I mean, it's the playoffs. I mean, he had an okay below average game, but that's a stinker. You know what I mean? You can't have those.
You can't lay an egg in the playoffs.
No. And this is the second egg he's laid, so that's not good.
Why? Now, the main thing, I wasn't so much saying last week that he wasn't worthy of the award, but I thought the timing of the award was bizarre in the sense that he's sitting down 0-2 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What do we want athletes to do?
Mm-hmm.
We want them to step up and meet challenges. So he gets the award down 0-2 and then reels off 3 straight wins and a masterclass in Game 5. This is exactly what we want out of our athletes. He answered the bell. And it's funny because I thought like last week we were talking a lot about these younger teams, Minnesota, OKC, looking good. Could they do it? And Minnesota's hit a wall right now, and OKC's in a dogfight. I'll credit them though. Coming back and winning Game 4 was huge. That was a great show of character.
Well, OKC?
OKC on their part.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the text thread. Shout out to the coach, man. The coach
Yeah.
made an adjustment. For me, it was an obvious, glaring adjustment. I
Yeah.
wish more coaches would fucking do it. It's a guy out there that's killing your team. Sit his ass down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand your top stars. I understand. KD, LeBron James, Steph Curry. Steph Curry comes out and he's 0 for 13. You're going to have to ride him.
Well, in that exact
But
context.
sit your role players down.
Yeah, in that exact context. If SGA is having an absolute stinker,
You ride him.
You're going to ride him.
Until you're down 40 in the fourth quarter, and of course, okay, it's over.
But Josh Giddey doesn't deserve that credit.
No, you sit them.
Yeah.
All role players, if they're coming out, and the thing about basketball, and especially NBA level, you guys know one guy can disrupt your entire team. Like it really can. It's not if he's out there like Josh Giddey was out there. I mean, from the air balls to the turnovers, it's just I don't know if the moment is too big for him or he's already in his head. Whatever it is, get him off the court. Let him figure that out on the bench.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, for the past 5 years, I've been dealing with that with Tobias Harris. And some of these guys, early on, from the beginning, like in the first quarter, okay, does this guy have it tonight or not? And it's and a lot of times, man, I know you in the text there, and one of your points was sometimes the coach doesn't like what he has on the bench compared to the guy that's on the floor.
Right.
But man, 95% of the time, these role players is if you don't have it, you have to swap them out for another role player on the bench because they may have it. Even if X guy is a better overall player, if he doesn't have it for whatever reason, this guy here, like Campaign, I know we're off base. We're talking about the Denver Nuggets, but Cameron Payne is not an awesome NBA player. He's just not. But he's maybe whatever the 9th, 10th guy on a regular team. But so many nights he had it more than Tobias had it, more than Buddy Hield had it. And you have to figure it out, man, when you're a coach. And shout out to OKC coach. He's much better than any coach we've ever had because he sat Josh Giddey down, and they won the game solely because of that. No other reason. They won because Josh Giddey, if he was staying in that game, they would have lost. Okay. Now, this Denver Nuggets series against Minnesota is getting interesting now.
I think it's over.
You think it's over?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting
done.
because of that.
Yeah. I actually felt it was done in Game 3.
When Minnesota didn't even get off the bus.
When you didn't get off the bus in Game 3 at home, up 2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a champion is always going to have self-belief.
Yeah.
And all they need was just a sliver, and you gave it to them.
You got to kick their teeth in.
Kick their teeth in, slit their throat, choke them out. I gave a halftime speech when I was at Lake Howell, and we had a lead on a team. And my entire halftime speech spoke nothing about basketball, but it was like the story of strangling somebody and holding their throat until you felt the last breath leave them. And that's what we wanted to do.
And that's why parents can't be in the locker room.
Yeah. What the fuck are they doing there? They can't help the team. They're all out of eligibility.
Hopefully.
Damn sure they are. So, yeah, but it was a great speech, and guess what? Had a solid second half.
The guys responded?
They did.
No. And what do you take as far as whether it's over or not? You know, like we said in the beginning, if we had to put any amount of money on it that meant something to us, we'd have put it on Denver anyhow.
Right.
What do you take from this, from Rudy Gobert? Okay, he wins Defensive Player of the Year, and Jokic is pretty much just doing anything he wants with him. I mean, and when you look at the statistics, Kat and Nas have better, success against Jokic one-on-one than Rudy Gobert. Much better.
This is the story of Rudy.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in the league for probably 8 seasons or more.
Yeah.
And every year it's the same fucking story.
It is.
People show you who they are. You're an idiot if you don't figure it out. That's on you. It really is.
Yeah.
If you're going to watch a guy give you the same thing, regular season defense, and in the playoffs, every single year, he becomes unplayable. At some point, you just have to say, I don't want this guy in my organization.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. You said it last week. You were like, hey, their best 5 guys doesn't include him.
Yeah.
And that's proven right. I mean, he's been right at the front of the bus going off the cliff this year.
Yeah. It
drives me insane. I mean, like, this is one of those things that really drives me insane. When a guy is not the answer, get rid of him.
Were you preaching to a strong
but,
choir?
But yeah. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
You can't, early in a guy's career, maybe there's some growth to be had. But like when you're talking about a mid-career guy,
Rudy is what he is.
He's exactly what he is.
He's not going to get any better. If anything, he's going to get worse.
Here, he gets worse. The
worse.
only thing that awaits is the decline.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's ridiculous. Like, you cannot sit there and do this. And it's unfortunate. And if I'm Ann Edwards, here's another low-key thing, though. In addition to collapsing in this series, they also have like an ownership fiasco going on between Glenn Taylor, A-Rod, and his partner. And there's a lot of like weird maneuverings that I thought there was an arrangement in place where A-Rod and his partner were going to kind of take over the team. And the Taylor guy made some moves, bought out a minority partner to kind of keep his share higher. This is not an organization that you want to be a part of. And I think Ann Edwards needs to leverage himself out of this as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because of the success they've had this year.
No, he needs to take it upon himself. And say, this is not where I want to be. This is not in the best interest of my career, and I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I really feel he does it because Rudy's not going anywhere unless he gets assassinated.
I don't know about that. Because I do think there are teams that would talk themselves into Rudy being the missing piece, because people think they need bigs like Rudy that can protect the paint and this and that, and they could talk themselves into it, and this contract it depends on how you feel about it. It's not Bradley Beal, Tobias Harris territory. It's more than he's worth. But at the same time, if you talk yourself into needing a rim protecting big, he could be moved. Rudy can be moved.
But the question is for what? Like, and we don't know. Like, it
Yeah.
might be a good deal. It might not. But I'm Edwards, and I'm ascending into the best players in the league, and I don't need this to be my problem.
You don't, but I think it's almost addition by subtraction too, though.
But the other issue that I'm talking about, though, is unless this ownership piece gets sorted out quickly and cleanly, like by midsummer, you don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be harder to make those calls.
Decisions. Yeah. Decision making.
Any higher
is
level
muddy.
decision is going to be muddied.
Yeah.
And again, like it could also be, it could be petty between them that for not even basketball reasons.
Yeah.
If Taylor's championing a move, those other guys, A-Rod and his people might, go against it just because they don't, their issues are with him.
Yeah.
And it's not even a basketball decision anymore. I want Ant Edwards to be freed, liberated from Minnesota.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just not going to happen.
It's up to him.
It is.
He can make it happen.
Technically, it is.
No, it's not technical. He
is.
has the leverage to do it.
Yeah.
The issue, does he want to? Does he have the resolve to do it?
Yeah.
And I hope he finds it with himself to do that. But if he wants it, it can happen.
Yeah.
He can force it to happen.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen time and time again.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
unprecedented.
No. It's not. All right. Well, you think it's over? I would lean more towards that, but Cat walked off the court gingerly. Take that for what you will.
Fucking pussy.
I just think Cat is what he is. I think he's
fucking pussy.
I think he's talented, but I just don't think he has any type of heart at all. I mean, if a guy's hurt, he's hurt. But
What was that? The Wizard of Oz? Is he the Tin Man?
Yeah, Tin Man.
No heart. Yeah.
That's Cat.
Yeah.
That's Cat.
And again, another guy. He's in like the prime years of his career. He is what he is.
Yeah,
he's not the answer.
No, he's not. But he's not the problem this year. I won't say that. He's put up some stinkers in this series.
I would say this. There are several times in the last couple of games where he has gotten absolutely unnecessary, atrocious, and untimely
fouls. I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a feel for defense, but he has the size to where sometimes it works for him.
Not even. He's gotten horrible offensive fouls.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Like you need a bucket, the game's in the balance, and then he'll just run somebody over, like oblivious to the rules of the game.
If it's low IQ or he just doesn't have a great feel for the game and for certain situations. I don't know.
It's all of the above. Like he is a guy to me that does not have emotional control of himself.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the same way that Draymond Green does with the lashing out, but those decisions. And I think it goes to the voice thing, where he has the multiple voices.
Yeah.
Because what that tells me is he's not comfortable with who he is for whatever reason. And I think a lot of the charges, he almost artificially feels like, I need to be tough and get us a bucket. But you can't go in with that mindset.
No.
You have to read the game. And if somebody gets to the charge position, you got to recognize it and make the next play, whatever that might be. But, like, you cannot make decisions that I'm going to, put my head down and go or whatever. That's not high-level sports. That's not how that works. And he does that because he lacks emotional control of himself. Yeah. And that's why he's a flawed guy that's not ever going to be part of a championship scenario.
Yeah. Another
reason to free Ant.
And the last thing I'll add there before we bring T up here is I've come to grips with this thing. I know I told you this. Jokic, he is the best player in the league, and yeah, I think player for player, I'll die on the hill that Joel Embiid is a better player, but Jokic he's just always available, and he always comes through in the biggest spots. Win, lose, or draw, it's just almost like you could just count on him to do what he needs to do. And when you're talking about reading a game, I mean, geez, fucking Luis, man.
He's the opposite. And you have to look at it this way. He makes the game of basketball look simple
Yeah.
because he does what you said. Like, he reads it. He doesn't, like, there's so few times in a game that he forces himself into a bad play.
Right.
If the pass is the play, he makes the pass. If the shot is the play, he makes the shot. If, walking his guy down and putting him under the bucket is the play, he does the play.